Louisiana versus all y'all. Jarrett Roser here today with Demontrey Jacobs, former East Ascension standout, finishing up this past year at Grambling State, where you were a redshirt sophomore, correct? And
Yes, sir.
now you've entered your name into the transfer portal, and it's been such a weird year in every aspect of life, pretty much. And for you, I know some of the uncertainties have played a role in how you end up here, trying to figure out what some sense of stability is for the next steps. But I guess just kind of generally, man, Trey, how have you been doing? How is life treating you and the fam? Y'all been able to stay healthy and safe and everything?
Yeah, it's been good. We've been trying to social distance, but yeah, we've been doing all right.
Good deal. What I guess with where you are right now, take me through, I guess, the last few years at Grambling, some of the things that have gone well and you've been pretty pleased with. Had a chance to watch some of your highlights and watch you really kind of beating up on some people at times, playing that left tackle spot. And then ultimately, how did you get where we are now, having a conversation, looking at what the next steps are going to be in terms of making a potential move to another college?
Well, coming into Grambling State, I was a defensive end. So after I got redshirted my freshman year, Coach Bob sat me down and said it would probably be a good decision if I try playing a little bit of offense. So that spring we got out there and he tried me out at tackle, and it kind of came natural, but it was a little stuff we had to work on. But as time went on, I felt myself getting more comfortable in that position. And our redshirt freshman year, I started right tackle out the whole season. And then going into that spring, my coach let me know that he'll probably need me to step up and play that left tackle spot. So I was working on that continuously. And as the season got around the corner, I just knew I had to step up a little bit more. And we were just working. We were just working. And whenever we got through the season, I just looked back and I saw how far I came, and I said, I wonder where I could take this. So I was really taking a chance on myself, like a leap of faith. I was really nervous to enter the portal initially, but I was able to think about it and pray about it, and things turned out well.
And you've had some good early feedback. There are some schools that have seen some of that progress that you've shown and have really you've popped on their radar in a pretty big way. How have you felt about some of the response you've seen as you've had a chance to start talking to some of these other schools, including some Power Five schools that are interested in what they've seen from you at that position?
I mean, it's unbelievable because just a few years ago, I wasn't even in a conversation with these guys. So just that hard work that I put in, man, and like hearing these guys tell me this stuff, it was just unreal in my head. But I know that hard work pays off. I got a chance to talk to some of those guys, and it's just been a great experience. I mean, I'm currently committed to University of South Florida, but I've had a chance to talk with guys like FIU, Baylor, North Texas, Nicholls State, West Florida, Clark Atlanta. And I mean, the list isn't too long, but I had a chance to talk with those guys and get a little feedback. They really been telling me they like how I finish through the whistle, how I play with a lot of effort, and they like my natural athletic ability, how I stay in front of defenders, how I can move up to the second level. So, yeah.
What you kind of alluded to it some when we first talked about how you came to this decision, but when you started to try to look at some other schools, look at South Florida and some of these other schools that you've heard from, what were some of the things that really were focal points in your mind of what type of opportunity you were looking for, what ways you were kind of really looking into more of these programs and what they had to offer, and what aspects were most important to you?
The most important thing was I want to find somewhere where I could have a chance to fairly compete for a starting job at a higher level because I want to see myself versus a higher level. And just that's really the main thing. I wanted to see myself versus that competition.
The tackle position, I don't think guys grow up seeing that the same way. A lot of times people put their eyes on the quarterback or running back or wide receiver or even cornerback or maybe an edge rusher type position. It doesn't necessarily come across as like one of the sexy positions that catches your attention right away. But as you can tell by the financial numbers in the NFL, it's one of the most important positions on the football field to protect those quarterbacks and whatnot. What is, I guess, you kind of smiled as I mentioned that. What is your development of the way you view that position, and how much have you started to enjoy being able to protect your quarterbacks and the role that plays in letting the offense succeed?
Honestly, whenever Coach Files mentioned me playing tackle, it was kind of like I wasn't ready for that type of role or whatever. But as time went on, I kind of fell in love with the position, and I started learning more and more and taking pride in what I do because I realized how important it was. So it gave me a chance to really see, like, it's more than just throwing the ball or catching the ball or running the ball. You know, you got to block people too. So.
And you, I guess, as you started to make that transition, what were some of the areas that you immediately felt some of your skill set that you already had translated well and kind of set you up for success? And when you talked about some of those areas that you've continued to grow in and really build upon that foundation, what have been some of those areas that you've felt you've taken the most strides in these past couple of years?
Really just my natural athletic ability. I have good feet, I believe, and just learning to use my hands and my length because everybody tells me I have long arms, so I try to use them as much as I can because it really helps out a lot. And just those natural good feet help stay in front of defenders, staying inside out of the defender, and just keeping them away from the ball, basically. So it's been, yeah.
Yeah, I was asking you about kind of the basketball background where you had a chance to play a little bit for that really good EA basketball program. And I think you see some of that mobility out there, almost looking like you're moving around the paint a little bit and just kind of that comfort moving around and getting a quick jump at the snap and getting outside. And you mentioned using the length, using your arms to keep pass rushers inside, not be able to get the corner on you. What have been, in terms of some of the things that you focused on and building the skills and fine tuning, what were some areas that you really picked up on top of some of that natural ability, or some things that you focused on as you tried to perfect your craft a little bit more over the last couple of years?
I just try to be more specific with the position because just any false step could turn you bad, you know. You just got to really be specific at that O-line position. You can't just go out there all wild. You just got to focus on the technical stuff like hand placement, getting your hands inside, you know, finishing through the play, using your hips, driving through, and just keeping your head out of there in the pass game because you don't want to be leaning over and the defender just rip you through or get past you kind of. Really just a lot of those things. Just trying to, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that gets overlooked. They just see a big guy out there getting in front of people and putting them in the dirt, but don't realize the kind of the technical aspect of footwork and balance and leverage and all those things.
Yes, sir.
For you, this past season, the Grambling roster listed you at 6'6", 305. Where are you right now? What's the spring look like in terms of what work you've been able to do, and where are you right now physically with everything?
Physically right now, I'm at 6'6", 300 right now. I've been trying to lean up a little bit, and I just been really focusing on building my lower body. I feel like I need to build some more strength right there, especially moving up in conferences. And I'm playing against a little better competition, no offense to the SWAC and who I've been playing against. But I feel like I need to work on more of that stuff, more so I don't risk injury. And just working more on my feet, just trying to get better and better because you're never going to be perfect. So you just try to keep working and be the best you can be.
obviously we're at such a strange, uncertain time in every aspect, and sports, and particularly football. We have so much up in the air trying to figure out what these next steps look like as we try to get back towards some normalcy. For you, in terms of how things lay out and when you can be somewhere and stuff of that nature, what does your timeline look like in terms of an actual physical transfer and being at the next stop? How does, as much as you can, try to have some expectations for what the future in the next month or couple months looks like? What does that look like for you?
I plan on moving up. Moving up to school in like mid-July. I've already committed. I'm getting ready to start my application so I can get in school. So it's not right around the corner, honestly. So
you're locked into being in Tampa basically in the next month. You're taking care of the paperwork aspect before you make your move.
Yeah, Coach Scott had me sold. We had a good conversation.
The conversation, was a lot of that similar to some of the stuff we talked about in terms of the opportunity that was there and the feedback, or what were some of the other things that stood out about USF that made that a place that you felt like you could kind of maximize your potential?
First of all, I think with them having a new coaching staff coming in this spring, it's a fair opportunity for me to go out there because there's no favorites. You know what I'm saying? It's just going out there and competing, honestly, with those guys who's been there, and all the faces are like new to them. So I just feel like it's a good opportunity for me to go out there and compete.
When you look back to a couple years ago and you're at EA and y'all are having battles with Justin Harris, who obviously goes on and becomes a Power 5 signee, Cam Wire, who is now at LSU, Adrian Ely, who is at Oklahoma, and all these guys, were other notable recruits and have had their successes. What were some of those battles like on, Monday through Thursday, just leading up to the point where you're out there competing together on Friday? And how crazy is it to look back now and see where y'all have been able to get and just look at the talent that came out of those groups? As a whole, y'all have put some talent out there from EA, but that group in particular with some of the big men involved.
Yeah, honestly, just competing with those guys every week, they helped me get better because I was kind of behind the ball, not playing my junior year. So competing with those guys, they were just helping me get better because honestly, I was a lot smaller in high school. Had a chance to bang around with Adrian and Cam at practice, but they prepared me for Fridays. So, like I say, I believe I came a long way.
How big were you when you were finishing up EA?
I was 6'5", 245.
Cool. So you've bulked up a lot the last couple of years.
Yeah, I had a chance to start working and putting some weight on.
Awesome. For folks that either EA folks that haven't heard as much from you the last couple of years and are seeing this next step, kind of messages to them about continuing to watch your progress at this next level, or for folks who are USF fans and want to know more about this guy joining their program, what kind of messages would you have to the folks that have been with you for a while and are now watching these next steps, and for some of the new fans that are going to get a chance to see you over the next couple of years?
I just want to say, you getting a hard worker out of me. I'm gonna give 110%. Like I said, I plan on, giving my everything and moving up as much as I can. Like I say, it's all about working. It's all about working. You can't never stop working. I never left this position, honestly. I saw myself at Grambling for all my years, but I said, I'm going to take a chance on myself because I believed in myself. So just keep following up and see where this goes.
Well, Trey, man, I certainly appreciate you taking a couple minutes and catching up. And it sounds like you got some pretty big things ahead in these next couple of years. Excited to see how things play out at USF, and congratulations on the news and good luck with this next move.
I appreciate it.
You gotcha. He's Demontrey Jacobs, former EA star, finishing up his time, the first half of his college career at Grambling State, and now looking to transition to South Florida here in this next month, and really just kind of keep building on what is still in an early part of his work at that tackle position, but one that has shown a lot of reasons to be really excited about the future to come. For Louisiana versus all y'all, Jarrett Roser.